All right, so into those creepy internet mysteries, the kind that make you, double check your locks and peek over your shoulder when you're browsing late at night. Well, this deep dive, this one's right up your alley. We're going deep into the archive. It's a story that'll have you thinking twice about what you click on, I'll tell you that.
I think what's so captivating about stories like The Archive is how they just tap into that primal fear of the unknown.
Right.
And the internet, I mean, with its vastness and anonymity, it just amplifies that fear.
Oh, for sure.
It's like the digital version of those spooky campfire stories we all tell,
Mm-hmm.
but with a modern, an unsettling twist.
Okay, so let's unpack this story a bit. We've got Ethan, kind of your typical night owl, can't resist the lure of those weird corners of YouTube, right? One late night, he stumbles across this channel called The Archive. No profile pic, no description, just a bunch of videos with titles that practically scream at you, "Don't watch this alone." You know, those classic
Yeah.
clickbait warnings that make you want to click even more.
Yeah, yeah. This is where it gets really interesting because The Archive plays with this whole idea of forbidden knowledge,
Okay.
much like real-world internet mysteries and creepypastas.
Oh, yeah.
Think about those infamous internet puzzles like Cicada 3D301.
Mm-hmm.
People are just drawn to them, even when there's a sense of danger or the unknown.
It's like that morbid curiosity we all have, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And to make things even creepier, the videos on The Archive, they've got barely any views, like, at all, and the comments are all locked. It's like Ethan stumbled into this, like, secret, unsettling pocket of the internet.
Before we go any further, I think it's helpful to kind of define a couple of terms here for anyone who might not be familiar.
Okay, sounds good.
So creepypastas, they're those scary internet stories that are written to feel real, almost like urban legends for the digital age.
Right, right.
And then you have ARGs or alternate reality games, which, they kind of blur the lines between reality and fiction, often involving puzzles and clues that spill out into the real world.
Yeah.
The Archive seems to borrow elements from both.
That's a great point. It makes the whole thing even more, like, unnerving, right? Like, knowing that it could be a story or a game or, something else entirely.
Yeah.
But back to Ethan. Of course, he can't resist clicking on a video, right? And the first one he watches, well, it's straight out of a found footage horror flick,
Yeah.
Shaky camera, dark forest, heavy breathing. You can practically hear your own heartbeat in the silence.
Oh, yeah.
And then, boom, a glimpse of this shadowy figure in the distance. Just a glimpse, though. And to top it off, the video ends with a simple message. You shouldn't have watched this.
The brilliance there is the ambiguity, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Is it a threat? A warning?
Yeah.
Is it, someone just messing around? It leaves you with this unsettling feeling, like something's not quite right.
Totally. And of course, that makes you want to watch more, right?
Of course.
Exactly. I mean, wouldn't you want to keep watching? It's like that train wreck you can't look away from. So Ethan, he tries to convince himself it's just some, amateur horror project, but he can't shake that uneasy feeling.
Okay.
And what does he do? He keeps watching.
Yeah.
He's hooked. Each video gets progressively more disturbing, kind of pushing the boundaries of what's real and what's staged.
This is where The Archive starts to blur the lines between reality and fiction,
Right.
Not just in the videos themselves, but in Ethan's experience.
Yeah.
We see him getting drawn deeper into this world of online horror, and at the same time, weird things start happening in his real life, things that seem to stem from his online activity.
Like the internet is bleeding into his reality, which is absolutely terrifying. One video shows a man whispering numbers in a dark hallway. Another has footage of a family frozen at their dinner table, faces blurred out. And then there's this video of a mysterious door slightly ajar, and you just know something creepy is lurking on the other side.
Remember what we said about those primal fears?
Yeah.
This plays on that fear of the unknown. The idea that something sinister could be, watching us.
Right.
Even in the safety of our own homes.
Yeah.
The internet, in this story, becomes a portal for those fears to manifest in the real world. It's not just entertainment anymore. It's personal.
And it's about to get even more personal. A new video pops up on the channel, and the title is simply, Ethan, Stop Watching.
That's the moment where the stakes are raised, right?
Oh, for sure.
Using his name.
Yeah.
That personal touch, it completely shatters any sense of safety and anonymity that the internet might provide.
Right. It's like the story is reaching out from the screen and grabbing him. And what's even creepier is the content of the video. It's footage of Ethan's apartment window filmed from the outside. And the timestamp, it shows it was recorded just minutes ago.
It's no longer just, creepy videos. It's a direct threat,
Oh, yeah.
implying that someone is not only watching Ethan online, but is physically present in his world.
It's scary.
That blurring between the digital and the real, it gets even more intense.
And as if that wasn't terrifying enough, right at that moment, Ethan hears knocking on his door. Slow, deliberate knocks.
Oh, no.
Don't answer it.
Right, don't answer it. So, okay, picture this, right? You're Ethan, heart pounding, staring at your door. The image of that video just, burned into your mind. What do you do?
It's that classic horror movie trope, isn't it? Don't answer the door.
Right.
But it's more than just a cliche, though, isn't it?
Oh, for sure.
It taps into a primal fear, that dread of the unknown, like lurking just outside our safe space.
Right.
And the archive, the story, it takes that fear and just twists it.
Yeah.
Using the online world to amplify the terror.
Because it's not just about the fear of someone being at the door, is it?
No, no.
It's the fear that whoever is out there has been watching you.
Yeah.
Knows you. Maybe even orchestrated those terrifying videos. Exactly. Ethan isn't just, passively watching creepy content anymore.
Right.
He's become a participant in this unfolding nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a whole different level of fear.
So what does he do? Does he answer the door?
He does what any rational person in a horror movie would do.
Okay.
He hides, turns off all the lights, huddles in the darkness, and just waits.
Oh, man.
And the knocking, it eventually stops.
Oh, God.
Silence. Can you imagine the tension? The not knowing.
It's like that feeling you get when you think you're being followed, but you're not sure. You keep looking over your shoulder, but you never quite see anyone.
Yeah.
It messes with your head.
Yeah.
And in Ethan's case, he's been primed by these disturbing videos, so his mind is already in a state of, heightened fear and paranoia.
And that silence, the absence of a clear resolution, can often be more terrifying than any jump scare.
Yeah, right.
It leaves you and Ethan in this case in a state of heightened anxiety, waiting for the other shoe to drop, for the next threat to emerge.
Morning finally comes, and Ethan is, well, understandably, a wreck.
Yeah.
He needs answers. He needs some kind of explanation for what happened.
Right.
So he goes back online, back to YouTube, hoping to find, some trace of the archive, maybe some clue as to who's behind it all. But guess what?
The channel.
Gone.
It's vanished. Disappeared without a trace.
Yeah.
And this disappearance, it adds another layer of complexity to the mystery, doesn't it?
For sure.
It raises questions. Was it all a prank?
Right.
A very elaborate and cruel ARG designed to, freak Ethan out? Or was it something more sinister, something that wanted to remain hidden, that operated in the shadows of the internet?
It's like a ghost story for the digital age, right?
Yeah.
Poof, the ghost is gone, but the chilling feeling remains. So what's Ethan supposed to make of this? Was it all in his head? Did he, imagine the whole thing fueled by sleep deprivation and a little too much time spent down those, dark internet rabbit holes? Or did he stumble onto something truly disturbing?
And that uncertainty, that can be incredibly unsettling.
Totally.
It makes us question our own sanity, the boundaries between what's real and what's virtual.
And just when Ethan thinks he can just maybe, put this whole creepy experience behind him, he gets a text message.
Oh, no.
From an unknown number. It simply reads, "You shouldn't have watched."
To talk about a punch to the gut.
Right.
That one text message, it brings back all the fear.
Oh, yeah.
All the uncertainty, because it confirms that Ethan was targeted, that someone was watching him, manipulating him.
It's like the monster in a horror movie appearing one last time, just when you thought it was safe to, breathe again. So where does that leave us? Was the archive just some elaborate prank, by an internet troll with way too much time on their hands? Or was Ethan, the target of a real-life stalker, someone using the anonymity of the internet to, to terrorize him?
That's the question the archive kind of forces us to grapple with, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a question that's becoming more and more relevant in our, in our digital age.
Right.
Is Ethan's experience the result of genuine threats? Or is it a product of his own mind? A mind that's been consumed by all this unsettling content, all those dark corners of the internet.
So it's like the story is holding up a mirror to our own anxieties about, online privacy, the potential for for real-world harm stemming from our digital lives.
Right.
We're all spending so much time online these days, sharing so much of ourselves. It's no wonder these kinds of stories, resonate with us.
And what's so unsettling is that uh, the archive leaves this question unanswered.
Yeah.
Was it real? Was it all in his head? We don't know.
Right.
And that ambiguity, that lack of resolution, that's perhaps the most frightening aspect of the story.
Because it leaves us with that lingering unease, that feeling that maybe, just maybe, there are things lurking in the shadows of the internet that we're better off not finding.
It's a cautionary tale for our times, a reminder to be, mindful of what we consume online, the connections we make, the potential consequences of our digital actions.
Right.
The internet offers, incredible possibilities for connection and knowledge, but like any powerful tool,
Mm-hmm.
it can be used for good or for evil.
So the next time you find yourself scrolling through YouTube late at night, remember Ethan in the archive. Are you really alone in that digital darkness, or is there something else out there, something watching, something waiting?
It's a chilling thought, isn't it?
It really is.
The mysteries of the archive, they might stay with us long after we log off.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, that about wraps it up for this deep dive into the archive. Always a pleasure chatting with you.
Likewise.
Stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay safe out there in the digital world. Until next time, happy deep diving, everyone.